Well, breaking now at 6 o'clock, Ghislaine Maxwell found guilty of 5 of the 6 sex trafficking charges against her. She had pleaded not guilty to charges. She helped her boyfriend turned business partner Jeffrey Epstein recruit and sexually abuse underage girls at his private properties, including a home on Palm Beach. Maxwell, the former girlfriend and longtime associate of Epstein, again found guilty. Here's a breakdown of the charges. Count 1 was conspiracy to entice a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. She was found guilty on that. Now, the one count she was found not guilty in was enticing a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. Count 3, conspiracy to transport a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, guilty. Count 4, transporting a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, guilty. Count 5, conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of a minor, guilty. And the final count, sex trafficking of a minor, guilty. Maxwell facing up to 40 years in prison. We'd like to bring in tonight WPTV legal expert Michelle Suskauer to kind of give us sort of the straight talk of what all those counts meant in the first place. I mean, these were very serious charges, correct?
That's right, very serious charges. Basically, she's facing the rest of her life in prison. And that's probably what's going to happen. The sentencing hasn't happened today. It's not happening tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit down the road. There's something called a pre-sentence investigation that has to be done. And then there's going to be recommendations to the court. And the court ultimately is going to decide what the sentence is, not the jury.
Was this the expected outcome, though? I mean, from your outside observations?
It really was. The evidence was absolutely overwhelming. She did not testify. Now, her silence could not be used against her. But again, she didn't. And the government really had overwhelming evidence. What was interesting is this jury deliberated for 5 full days. I think they were in their 6th day. They heard from 24 different witnesses. And this was pretty significant because they had a lot of questions. But one of their main questions was about sort of giving us a view of maybe that they were struggling with the testimony from one of the women that testified.
Does the fact that she was found not guilty of one count make any difference here, or not?
Not really. It really doesn't make a difference. Certainly, it makes a difference to the woman who, who testified on that behalf. Right. I believe her pseudonym was Jane.
Jane, I believe, yes.
But in fact, in terms of years, this is going to be the rest of her life. She's 60 years old, just turned 60, I believe, on Christmas. This is going to be, she's going to be in prison for the rest of her life.
I mean, I would imagine there would be appeals in this case, right? I mean,
there will be, but she won't. But she will not be out pending appeal. She'll be serving her time. But the government wanted to have a clean case in terms of, trying to eliminate any appealable issues. I think they pretty much did. They tried this in a very clean way. It was very overwhelming, but she was found not guilty of one charge, which was enticing a minor.
What's the message here? The government, again, the defense had said, well, she's not Jeffrey Epstein, right? You and I had talked about this before the trial even got underway, that was sort of the defense there. She's not Jeffrey Epstein. She was not the one supposedly abusing, but the jury didn't see it that way.
Because what they charged her with was not only the acts, but also what's very important is conspiracy. She made it happen. According to what the government put forth, what the jury found is that she was a significant part. She conspired along with Jeffrey Epstein to make these acts happen, to allow the sex trafficking, to allow the transportation, to allow this abuse to occur. She was there. She was an integral part. It would not possibly have happened without her.
Michelle Suskauer, WPTV legal expert, thanks so much for your perspective.